Shalom and welcome. This week's Torah portion is Korach. Incidentally, one of 5 Torah portions that are named for a person, 3 of which occur in the book of Bamidbar, book of Numbers. And Korach is a very interesting portion. There's a very complicated story involved here with a rebellion, which is actually 2 rebellions, and God wanting to purge the people again. So let's take a look at the story of Korach and his rebellion. So that we start with Korach and Abiram and On and Pelet. Korach is a Levite, the other 3 are Reubenites. And they and 250 people who are men of renown, leaders of the people, rise up against Moses and Aaron. And Korach's problem is that if all of the people are holy, which is what they've been told, then why is Moses and Aaron setting up above everybody else? If everybody is holy, they're all holy, and everybody should be able to do what Aaron is doing. Korach is actually out after the priesthood, even though he's a Levite. And Moses tells him this. Look, Korach, you're a Levite. You've already been given all of these privileges and responsibilities, and you've been elevated above the rest of the people to help the priests in the tent of meeting and do everything. And you want the priesthood also? Come on. But that's not all. Moses wants to talk to representatives of the 250 people, Abiram among them, but they refuse to come and talk to him because their gripe is that Moses is a bad leader. He led them out of Egypt. He led them almost into the promised land, and now they're being led out into the wilderness, perhaps to die in the wilderness. And what is this? They were promised the promised land, and Moses isn't delivering. Well, Moses hears this, and the Torah tells us he falls on his face. What he's doing is he's consulting God. And God gives him instructions about what to do. So he gets up and he says, hey, look, all of you, tomorrow God will settle all of this. So here's what you must do. All of you, the 250, and the Korach's followers and everybody, bring your fire pans to the tent of meeting and bring some coals in the fire pans so we can burn some incense. And God will make it known who is holy. So the next day, everybody comes before the tent of meeting, and the 250 men light their fire pans, and they're sitting there with their fire pans lit. And God comes down, and he appears before all of them. And he says to Moses and Aaron, okay, back off. I'm going to zap this whole group. And Moses and Aaron, whoa, wait a minute. Because one guy sins, you're going to kill everybody? Okay. Tell the people to separate themselves, Korach and his group by themselves and everybody else over here. I'll take care of it. I'm going to take care of this whole thing, says God. So Moses tells the people, separate yourselves from Korach. And they do that. And Korach is standing over on one side, near his tents, everybody else. And Moses says, look, if Korach dies like any other man, then if I'm the leader that I am, and that's what we have to accept. However, if God provides a death for Korach that is unusual and something that's never seen before, then we will know that he was wrong. So they wait for a few minutes, and all of a sudden the ground begins to tremble and shake. And it trembles and it shakes and it trembles and it shakes, and then whew, a hole in the ground opens up. And Korach and all his followers fall into this hole. And then the ground closes up above them. And it's as if they never were. The ground is whole again. At the same time, in the front of the tent of meeting, fire, some kind of energy comes out from the ark, and it burns to a crisp the 250 men with their fire pans. And God tells Moses, go and get Eleazar, Aaron's son, and tell him to take these copper fire pans and beat them into a covering over the surface of the altar, that it should be a remembrance of what happens when people rebel. But that's not all to the story. There's one more piece. God feels that the people still need another symbol that raises Aaron above everybody else. He is, after all, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. So he tells Moses, go gather the staff from the chieftain of each tribe, and on their staff write their name. And take the staff of Levi and write Aaron's name on it also. Then take the staffs and put them in the tent of meeting in front of the ark of the covenant. So Moses does this. And God says to him, here's what I'm going to do. Overnight, one of these is going to sprout. You prep the people. So Moses goes out in front of the people and says, God is going to make clear who is holy among us. And we will see the results in the morning. They come back the next morning. And lo and behold, Aaron's staff, the staff of the tribe of Levi, has sprouted branches. And there's blossoms on the branches. It looks like an almond tree, or a piece of one anyway. And so Aaron is established, he's the guy. And God tells Moses to take this staff and put it right next to the ark, so that when the curtains are opened and the people can see the ark, they will also see the staff. Well, that's the story of this massive rebellion, which God puts down in his usual way. A little bit of earth, a little bit of fire, a little bit of growing things. But he's realized, God has, that people need symbols in front of them to represent what is going on. So one of the lessons we learn from this is that we need these symbols to remind us of things. So I hope you enjoyed my little interpretation. Shalom.